Yo, yo, yo. It's insane. How's it going, everyone? Let's see, we got Dingleberry the Third, Nabha, Senri, Power Paper 1, and Daydreaming. Reza, what's up? Yo, yo, yo. Okay, let me know if you guys can hear me okay. It's pretty late, so my family's asleep, so I can't be like super loud, but I think if it's around this volume, I think we should be okay. So yeah, just let me know. I'm gonna have to adjust my microphone a few times, but hopefully everything's good. And hopefully the stream delay isn't too bad either. All right, things are looking okay. Good volume. Okay, and then my stream chat is working. For some reason, it didn't pick up the others, but I think it's working now. I mean, I can see them. It's just not showing on my stream for some reason. Yeah. So before we fully get started, I'm testing out Restream a little bit more, just to. It's like between YouTube and Twitch. I think for next week, I'm gonna switch to Streamlabs and just use that. I think it's a little bit easier and they have a little bit more features. So it'll be a bit more interactive. Complex Origami Model says hi. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. We got a pretty exciting stream today. So I'm just going to verify a few more things. We're a little bit early, like 10 minutes early. So that's all good. Are we even on stream on Twitch? Okay, we are. Sweet. We had a couple follows that I missed on Twitch, so oops, my bad. But yeah. So another thing is like alerts. I think I have that set up for this stream. I might not be able to hear it still, but yeah. Feel free to say hi in the chat, and I'll try to see it. And I think I can. Yeah, I think we'll be good. I can do polls. I can do a bunch of stuff. But yeah. So yeah, we're very exciting today. So if you guys saw the title, the main content today will be talking about complexity levels of Origami Dragons, but we're gonna get to that a little bit after some review of Origami Dan. So yeah, let's start the stream. Let's start up the stream. What's up, Paul? Hello, hello. Right. Let's transition to. Okay, let's just go to me for now. What's up, y'all? Thanks for joining the stream. It is pretty late at night, so I think ideally I'll either push these earlier in the evening or later, as in like in the morning time for Saturday. But we'll occasionally have some of these as well. Now, okay, so today, what do we have planned? So we have our Origami Dan review. We're gonna, I think every week it's gonna be good to look at some folds, some of the top folds that were posted, either in Hall of Fame, Starboard, or people's original designs. We might not spend as much time as we did last stream, but who knows? It's fun to talk about those, and I think people have pretty good questions about those folds that I can answer when that pops up. And then, oh, I lost my chat thing. Okay, let's pin this to the top, actually. Always on top. But then after that, we have kind of the main content that I'll be talking about. We probably won't be doing much folding today. It'll be a lot of instruction and like knowledge share, and then showing some cool models. But in future streams, that middle section will probably be like folding. So if I do another live tutorial, that's where that will happen. And then the last thing is going to be a design breakdown. So I'm not too sure what that's going to be. Maybe I'll review how I designed kind of, in more depth, one of my recent designs. So I'll ask you guys what you want to see, either the Tingyan or one of the other ones. So even though I made some design vlogs, I didn't, I skipped a lot of, of the design process because it wouldn't fit in the video. The original like clip that I filmed when I did the design vlog was like over, not quite over an hour, but it was like close to an hour of me talking. And I was like, okay, we can't do that. For one, not everyone's gonna understand it, and two, it's like super boring for a YouTube video. But it's perfect for a live stream because you all can ask questions if there's something you don't understand. And yeah, so I think that's what's gonna be the third thing. But so that I don't stall too much, let's hop right into the Origami Dan review. I'm gonna go over to the screen share. India, it's in the afternoon. Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's y'all are like an perfect 12 and a half hours ahead. So that works out pretty well. And then actually, I wonder if I can, for other people who will come in midstream, I'm going to add this like here. Hopefully that's not too small for people to read. No, I'll just stick in the corner, right? Should be fine. It's a little messy. I'll have a better format later, but all right. Pro in India, yeah. Yeah, so for India, Australia, and like most Eastern Asia, this should be a pretty good time actually. And even getting close to Eastern Europe, maybe, and Africa. But hello. Thanks for joining, everyone. Yeah, so I'll be talking and reviewing, but I'll also be answering questions. So if you have like relevant questions, I'll try to get to them. I might miss a little bit, but I'll do my best. Um, oh, cool. Sharing your channel. Very nice. Boys, can you give me the best paper name? Because finding paper is the crazy experience. Well, I have a whole blog on um, on my website. So let me go to that really quickly, and I need to update it. So some of the links don't have pictures anymore because Amazon decided to change how they do things, which is unfortunate. But go ahead and check out that for paper. There's not really a best paper. There's good paper for different origami. But I list like a bunch of explanations from my experience and should be good. $1 is 82 rupees. Okay, so if you're in India, I think the best paper that's cheap will be making your own double tissue. I know many uh, Indian folders who can do really complex stuff. They use double tissue really well. Like I don't know if he's here, but if Shang Nara joins, he's designing some crazy stuff and he uses double tissue. He can make it really big. Definitely the easiest, most accessible paper to get there. And you can use CMC or carboxyl methylcellulose, which is the food grade version of MC that you see me use, and it's really cheap. I even checked Amazon India, and it's pretty cheap. I think I saw a pack for like 352 rupees, but I think I also have another link for that. Let me try to find it, and you can type in India. Okay, so hopefully this is still updated, but try that and then select your country or your region. That should help you out. Butter paper, I've seen a lot of people use butter paper as well. I think double tissue is better than butter paper, but from some people I've seen fold with it, it seems pretty good. I just personally have never used it, so I'm not super sure. Um, Okay, let's see. Can I see a dashboard here? Streams fair, bitrate. Okay. Why is the bitrate? Oh, it didn't output correctly. Okay, hopefully this won't cause problems. Is this stream going okay? I thought. One second. This is my bad. Did I not change the? Oh no, I did change it. Okay. Oh, I didn't change that. Okay, that makes sense. So I think if we're watching in 1080p, I think it should be fine. All right. Well, if the stream starts lagging, let me know, guys. Like if it's really bad, I might have to restart it. But I think we're okay. I think we're okay. Wish I could have joined live on Discord. I don't really have live stuff on Discord. But yeah. That's only for members. There's actually, if you type in the members chat on my special Discord, then you can I guess chat, but that's for people who pay the YouTube membership. But I think they just want to use YouTube instead because you can use emotes and you have a little thing next to you. But yeah, okay. So let's start. I'm gonna start reviewing folds. So I went over a few last time from your folds. So I think I'm gonna skip that and just go to original designs first, and then maybe go Starboard and Hall of Fame. I think eventually I'll probably only do Starboard and Hall of Fame, just because we'll see some feedback back and forth from your original designs. But if there's not enough in Starboard, maybe we'll head on over to the other channels. Okay, so first thing we have a tessellation. So I actually really like tessellations. I don't like do it a lot, but I think they're very fun to fold. So this looks like similar to like the flower, or what's it called, the hydrangea tessellation, or maybe that's not right, but looks like it's a little modification. That's pretty cool. Oh, so this is big. Here, let me actually share this. This is Kimiro, who, if you're not familiar with, you should be. But he made a crazy wasp. That is really detailed, and then he posted the crease pattern on his Instagram, I think. And the crease pattern doesn't look too crazy, but the fold of it is just ridiculous. So yeah, we can take a closer look at this. Kimiro is just so good at bugs. You know, he's studied the anatomy of a lot. You can see he shaped in the eyes here. He's got the mandibles, like almost every detail you could want. And it's mostly structural, but some of this, like this is just pure folding skill in terms of shaping. But I really like what he did with the abdomen. He's really done well to modify some of these pleats with just like swivel folds. So if you look at the crease pattern, it's just regular pleats like we're used to, but he adds a lot of detail with the angle of the swivel fold and by like widening out to round it. So yeah, then you get a really nice shape. Like that looks crazy realistic. I think even last week we saw some Kimiro stuff, and he's so crazy. That's super beautiful. It's got 102 stars. Here we have a design by Snowman. This is a flying cobra. So originally it was supposed to be a dragon, I guess, but there was no legs. So I think there's a term for this type of dragon, but this is kind of cool. Flying snake. This is a very small result. You can see it's held in his hand. And yeah, it's pretty neat. The scales and the wings, a lot of pleats. This is with 25 centimeter foil, and then on a diagonal 64 grid. So the structure is actually pretty easy to kind of tell. It looks like it's just the scales running down the middle, and then the corners for the tail running up to the head with some fangs, and then the other corners are just the wings, and they're all pleated together. So nicely done. This one's really cool. This is by Paul. This is a Western Dragon from 70 centimeter square of craft. Now, I've used this craft paper before. I really don't like it. It's got a weird feel to it. So props to Paul for actually being able to use this well, because the result is pretty nice. And he mentioned in one of the comments, yeah, okay, so it's a Blintz frog base with a graft, and the goal was to have spikes, but like not go overboard. so that you can clearly see what spikes are there and that it's kind of balanced. So yeah, I think that's a very successful result. Very nicely done. Can I use butter paper? Because I'm thinking, I mean, you can try. I mentioned it like a little bit ago. I've seen a lot of people use it. I've just never used it before, so you can try using it. I think it's okay. I mean, I don't know if it's brittle because I don't have it, so I don't know. Sorry, but you can try and figure it out. You know, try some things with it, experiment with it. A lot of times, it's even with the good paper, it comes to the experience of the person. So if I gave a beginner like really expensive paper that I use, they're not going to know how to use that paper to its fullest like I can. And in the same way, I can use A4 paper or a really bad paper, but because I have experience, I can be very careful and make sure it doesn't tear. So a lot of it comes to experience over the actual quality of the paper. So get that experience, see if it works for you, and then after some time, you'll realize if it's good or not. But yeah, I've never used that paper. I don't have it, so I can't tell you. Sorry. This looks like a little dragon from a 16 grid. I like this use of spread squashes. You got the 4 legs, very nice. First design. So even though it's first design, like a lot of people when they do it, they kind of say stuff like this, like, "Oh no, everyone's good," you know, and then sometimes they feel nervous. But I'm really glad this person decided to still post. I don't think they should be nervous at all. Yeah, there's a lot of skill levels in this Discord, but everyone started with their first design. So this is awesome. Like to see it. Don't be shy. Um, oh wow, look at this. This is by Kreshi. He is one of the mods, or the mods for Origami Dan. Helps out a lot with the community, and also has the Ryujin Discord. But this is a 8x8 alternating chessboard. I don't know if it's flippable, fully flippable, but it's alternating chessboard. From 30 centimeters, I'm guessing, or maybe this is like a 30. I'm not sure what the 30 by 30 means. Maybe that's the grid size. But that's really cool. This stuff blows my mind on how it works. It's very strange. I can make a dragon meme model. Nice. Sharon Tano says hello. Thanks for joining the stream. Right now, we're going over some of the original designs that were posted within the last week on the Origami Dan Discord. And actually, I wonder, you know, let me do this in case invite link. So if you're over the age of 13, you can come join. If you're not over the age of 13, please wait, or you'll be banned. So don't join yet. But if you're not in it yet and you want to join, there's the link. I think can I pin this maybe on YouTube, and then we'll see what's up. Where's my live stream? I don't think any of my mods are awake right now, so I have to do this. Hello. Yeah, thanks for joining in. Okay, so that's to join the Discord. And then for the future weeks, if you have your own designs, you can post them and maybe I'll show them on the stream. So that's kind of fun, right? Okay, and I think that's it besides this one. So Naoki did what is this, a simple bat, which is really nice. Before the deer and the hex head, which we showed last stream. So yeah, really awesome by Naoki. This is a very simple looking bat. So I just overall love the cleanliness. But one thing to note is that because Naoki added things like this curved bevel, and then, you know, some slight open folds here and some slight creases here, it really adds to like the overall shape and finish of the model. So there's not many folds to it, but even just the subtle details makes it look a lot better than if it was just, you know, plain. So there's a lot of character in this. Very nice. Great. Super clean design. All right, so let's go on over to Starboard. So I think this is where we left off last. Let's jump to the present, see what things are new. All right, so first up, we have a Blackiston Fish Owl by Kaminuku. So this is really nice. A lot of pleats here. So they did the little modification with the extra pleats. And the claws are clean. The claws are pretty hard to get clean. It's just a structure, so you have to kind of put in your own work to really draw talons. So nicely done. Do people fold memes from all over the world? I don't know if they fold memes. There's some people that have made them like two-dimensional memes. But not too sure. Okay, and then next we have, of course, Kimiro's Wasp, which we saw, the scaled dragon. Okay, this one is different. This is Charlie Chaplin. I'm guessing. I think that's a typo. I think it's supposed to be Charles Chaplin or Charlie Chaplin by Kays. It's pretty nice, really clean. There's Paul's, there's the chessboard, bat, and then here, this is a gift for a friend, folded by Hifia, who is also a mod. Katsura's cat. If you haven't folded this cat design, it's a really, really nice cat model. So if anyone's looking to fold like a cat that is a bit more complex than your normal origami cat, this is the one to do. It's got a really nice like color change for the pelt and for the face. I think we saw this one last time. Maybe not actually. This is by Matt Laboon. So this is by Kimiro, designed by Kimiro, but folded by Matt. And this is his own paper that he makes. So a lot of times we call making paper when we make double tissue or something like that. But Matt actually like got the pulp of the paper and put it on the like straining. I don't know what it's called. It's got a name, but he actually made the paper and the colors. So that's really, really cool. He handmade the paper himself from the full process and then turned it into something really, really cool. So yeah, awesome color change. You know, this kind of level of color change can only come from someone who's really good at making paper, which Matt obviously is. So that's super good. Okay, and then from here we've seen everything since. So that covers the starboard. Let's just go to our last one, which is Hall of Fame. So we might see some different things. Okay, yeah, it's like this one. This is a Galapagos giant tortoise. This is actually really nice. So it's looks like it's designed by Zaki. It's kind of following that same clean look and a little bit geometric. So that's really nice. Oh, what's up, Bodo? Good morning. I think it's morning, really early morning, I think, for Germany, right? Or maybe mid morning. But hello, thanks for joining the stream. We're just kind of going over Origami Dan a little bit. During these live streams, I think I'll always start by looking at Starboard and Hall of Fame, just to give some context. But yeah, this is pretty cool. It looks like Devansh thought it was AI generated for a second. You know, it kind of has that vibe with just the super clean background and then almost like strange looking edging. But I think that's just because of the light. But you look closely and you can see it. But I love how the legs and then the little toes kind of turned out. This is really cool. Okay, we saw Kimiro's Wasp already, of course, there. This is by Shogo Origami. I don't know if I reviewed this last time, but this one's pretty crazy. It's a little bit crunchy, like it's just folded, but there's a lot of use of the pleats here. So, you know, sometimes you just have a insanely box pleat model and you can turn it into whatever if you use the paper. So in here, he stretched out pretty much every single layer and did like a reverse fold or a swivel fold. And I like the body pleats a lot. It kind of works with the tail. I think if there's anything I don't like as much about this model is the wings, because all these open layers on the wings, I think detract from the detail of the neck and body. Like it almost looks sloppy compared to everything else. But that's pretty cool. And okay, we have a Monica fold. Let's see if this one loads. Doesn't seem like it's wanting to load for me right now, but it's okay. Maybe I should. I don't really want to open Instagram. Okay, well, maybe I'll try to preload these beforehand next time. But that's pretty cool. What is my mic worth? Here, I'll drop. I guess since you're asking, I'll drop an affiliate link for my microphone. It's a nice one. So, it is this one. Okay, so I think I have to say this, but this link will give me, it's an affiliate link. So if you click it, Amazon kind of tracks it to my account, and then I'll get a small cut with no extra cost to you if you choose to buy it. But you can check that out. That should be the mic. Yeah, I got away with. So if you're wondering about like streaming, you don't need a mic like this. I used a very, very cheap microphone for most of the existence of my channel, but I worked hard and now I can get a fancy one. You just have to know which USB microphones that are cheap are better than the other ones, and then you're good to go. Okay, so kind of wrapped up with that. Let's go back to me, and then we're going to start kind of the main meat of what I wanted to stream about, which is talking about dragons at various complexities. Now you might remember I did a YouTube short or Instagram reel video about the complexity of origami humans from different grid sizes, and that video did really well. People really enjoyed just the analysis on it. So even though it was kind of a longer video, which tends not to do as well, it seems like a lot of people watched all the way through and really enjoyed it. So my plan for today is to talk about it on stream, but also get some clips to make it into a new video, but related to dragons. So we're going to see how this works. Again, this is making a short video from a live stream live, which is a little bit different than I'm used to. So yeah, we'll see how this works out. Hello. Thanks for joining the stream, everyone. You're just in time for the next segment of our stream. So I'll get started with that once I answer some questions. But yeah, I've got some origami dragons next to me that are pretty cool. What's my hardest solo model? That would be this guy. The lighting is not very good right now for him, but he's got a face. But he's been in some videos, so you can see. I mean, and there's almost a tutorial for him, so maybe it's not the hardest. Once a tutorial's made, it's what's hard. I could talk about this for hours. What's hard, what's not hard, what's difficult, what's complex. So I think it's complex. I think to replicate it like I did is very hard, but to actually fold it is not very hard because I've made a pretty good tutorial on the structure, and it's pretty much the same structure with the shield as well. But the shield is the same structure as the chest, so it's not that bad. But can you show me the IOIO tessellation with star and triangle weave? Yeah, I think I have it. I'll grab it really quickly. Ben, let me try to translate. I don't read Korean, unfortunately, but I can try to translate. Oh, hello. Okay, you said hello. Hello. Maybe that is that Anyong Haseo, I'm guessing. I was able to read Korean for a very short period of time, and then I forgot it all, unfortunately. But hello. The DPA Sword and Shield. Yes, that's right. Oh, what's up, David? Hello, Bodo. We got some friends from Europe. Looks like it's about that time. Yes, coffee. Coffee is very important, and I know it's 2 a.m. for me, but still gotta drink our coffee. I'm not sleeping anytime soon. I don't recommend this, by the way. This is not life advice. Don't drink coffee this late at night. It's It's not the best, but okay. So let me show that tessellation, and then we'll get into looking at some dragons. I'm gonna change scenes. I think my camera's on. Yep. All right. Cool. Got a new clean paper for our surface. The other one was getting a little bit dirty. It's kind of not as nice, but now we're good to go. Okay. So this tessellation with the star and triangle weave. Okay. Let me. Okay. It's one of these two. I think you mean this one. I think this one technically has a star and it's weaved as well, but I think this is more of like the triangle weave. Was that in front of the bunny girl? Oh, so I showed this last time, but it is a origami designed by Anise, and I bought it. So it's from France, a French origami designer. And I believe it is a moon man. So you can see there's like some pleats with some squashes, some fun box pleaty hands and legs, but then the head's really cool. It's very stylish. So if you look up Anise on Instagram to see his work, you'll notice this is very much in his style. Very cool, very unique. It's a signature. Okay, so yes, someone wanted to see this. Hopefully, this is good. If you have questions about this, I don't know if I'll be able to answer much because I'm not um, that great at explaining how tessellations work. But I can tell you that I had to practice to be able to fold this. So I practiced each section kind of differently. So I did the with like a smaller grid, just enough for the center, and then I did one just enough for like one of these triangle things. And then I got to do the whole thing, and it was like way more difficult than I had thought. But once I found the like order of each pleat and kind of made my own sequence to collapse it, it got a lot easier and a lot cleaner. So, oh, what's up, Dex? Hello, hello. I think this is a good morning for you as well. Hello, hello. I bought it. Yes, yes. I like to buy origami from talented designers if I'm able to. For example, I bought this from Levin. I also showed this last stream, but for people who didn't see it, this is from Levin. This one was probably double the price of the other one, I think. Which I think Anise should honestly charge more. I would have bought it for more, but at the price that it was, of course I was buying one. Um, yeah, it's really great. Went to bed early to watch the stream. Let's go, Dex. All right, cool, 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 cool. We're about to get to the meat of this stream, so that should be pretty fun. The hexagon. How did I make that shape? So the IOIO. I have a whole video on that. Maybe that's I'd love to explain it, but so that we can get further along in the stream, I think what I'll do is I'll link the video for you, and then you can check that out later. Because there's a lot of context. I think. Oh, this is live streams. Wow, was it really that long ago? 2021. Kusudama, tessellation. Okay. And then Yeah, overall, this video is really good. I think it's really educational. Guys, he's not good at origami. He's just got a good origami chair. Yo, that's true. Yo, yeah. This chair, guys, that's the secret. The chair is actually really expensive, but I got it for free because my job gave it to me. Um, Once the work at home stuff from 2021 happened, they were giving away free office chairs, and office chairs are crazy expensive, but it's a really good chair. So, with a good chair, you can do good origami. Just be like that, I guess. Okay. Let me see. What do I even need to look at? I don't think I need to look at anything. I'm doing. Okay, so we're gonna do the dragon review stuff. Let me actually move my OBS towards this so I can actually look where I'm filming, and then that way I can talk about stuff more, because we're talking about dragons, different complexity levels of dragons for by grid size. And I know there's a lot of dragons that are not based on grids, but for the sake of the video, all the dragons I'm showing today will be from grids. What job? Software engineering. I program. I do cloud-based software development and software engineering for CI infrastructure for Intel. So it's a mix of software engineering, cloud development, and CI/CD. I studied hard for that job. That's basically what you can take away from that if it doesn't make any sense. Okay, I put the link. Cool. Thank you. As it allows me to do a lot of origami and to buy origami. Okay, so let's get started. My other job is a lot more boring than origami, so we'll keep it origami. All right, so again, I have to think about this. I might do some weird takes because I am filming this for YouTube short. But if I can naturally talk to you all and get this filmed, we'll just do one. But I guess we'll try to start from here. It's gonna be really interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna try to record at the same time. Hopefully this doesn't break my computer. Okay, I think we're good. But we'll start here. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll film the actual intro separately because I think it'll be just really awkward to do live. But we can start with the content. Okay, so origami dragons. We're gonna do. It's gonna be. I did 3 levels last time. I think this time it's also gonna be 3 levels, but I'm showcasing 4 dragons, and it'll make sense on the next level. But first level of dragon, or the first level, is with an 8 grid. So with an 8 grid, we have this dragon, which it represents a dragon not in detail, but in shape. So it's very simplified and just has a few details, such as some texture in the wings. But overall, it's more of just shape that makes it look like a dragon, not shape that renders it as a dragon. So with an 8 grid, you can still make something that has all the proportions of a dragon, but just really simple. And I think this one's really cute. It's fun to fold. It's very teachable. And when you fold grids, a lot of times the grid takes a lot of time. Not for this guy. It's just an 8 grid. So that's pretty fun. How can I do this with just an 8 grid? Well, it's a normal 8 grid, but it's actually along the diagonal axis. So the head and tail are 2 of the corners, and the wings are the other 2 corners. And it kind of just works out like that. Another nice thing is a lot of times people think they need too much grid to do things like legs. But if you look at this leg, it's only 1 grid unit long. But you can just angle it and thin it, and you get a leg. And since the rest of the model is on a low grid, their proportions kind of check out. So pretty fun. It's actually a lot trickier to fold than it might seem. There's some more advanced folds in there, like an unsync. There's a spread squash that is like a Pythagoras spread squash, so it goes 1/3 and then 1/2. And it's kind of optional, but it gives a better wing shape. And then same thing for the head. It's like a little delicate, and there's an optional closing that's just really hard to do cleanly. But yeah, so that's our first level. That's pretty fun. First level with an 8 grid. I think with everything I said, I'm going to try to do one more take for the video, just in case I can't cut stuff out of this. And it'll just be a summary of everything I said. He's a cutie. Yeah, I agree. This one's really cute. I did 3 different low grid dragons last year, and this one was my favorite. It's also the lowest of the low grid dragons. So there's the 8 grid dragon, the 12 grid, and the 16. I think this one's definitely the best, but I am actually making diagrams for all 3 of them, and I'll release those as like a collection at some point. The diagrams for this one's actually all done. I am just waiting on a company that prints diagrams or prints books. I'm getting some test prints done because I want to see what it looks like as a physical copy. And yeah, you'll hear more about that soon once I make some progress. But the diagrams themselves are all done, so that's really exciting. The other 2 will take maybe the rest of the year to get done, but we'll see. No 22.5 dragons. Yeah, no 22.5 dragons today. Sorry, Bodo. I might need someone else more talented in that area, such as you, to feed me designs and some knowledge, and maybe I'll either read that off or have you read it off for the video if I make that. But I don't think I can talk about that as much. That's not something I'm as knowledgeable about, for sure. Can I do a tutorial? So no tutorial. The only way to learn this is either going to be from those diagrams or joining my origami members, or taking the class live from me. So I'm teaching this at the Origami World Marathon 5. I also taught this at the Pacific Coast Origami Convention. So it's kind of a special design, I think. And I already have plenty of tutorials on dragons. But this guy, being so simple and teachable, I think it's going to be a special one for teachable events, not just something to post online. So I know that kind of sucks, but it's not that much. I'm not going to sell the diagram for anything crazy, but I do want to save it for like the Origami by Boyce book, just to make it special. If you think about it, a lot of people get upset when a book only has models that are already on YouTube and that have the tutorials. So to make those people not upset, you just can't have the tutorials. Kind of unfortunate. Box pleat is superior. Ooh, that's a hot take. What do you think about that, Bodo? What do you think about that? I at least for the origami I do, I have to agree with Dex. Box pleat all the way. That's a hot take. I'm just kidding. I appreciate 22.5, but I have to disagree with that. Okay, we already have some disagreements. That's great. Parmu asks, hello, well, first time to the live. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Thanks for joining in. We're talking about dragons right now. This is my 8th grade dragon. I'm also turning this into a YouTube video. So I'm going to do another like read of what I said. So you'll get to hear what I explained about this over again. But welcome. Have you ever joined Origami USA Online? Yeah, I've taught there. I help out with Origami USA a lot. So yeah, definitely. Low key for dragon, box pleat is nice because scales. Yeah, there's like sometimes I think depends on what you're adding to the dragon. Scales, absolutely. But dragons with like longer appendages, like if it has really eccentric arms and claws or spikes, it just like naturally makes more sense to box pleat it. Now if you have something like Gen Hajiwara's dragon, something more like that where the body is more important, I think box pleat for that level of complexity, which you'll see in my next level, gets a little too stick-like. Like there's definitely problems with that and looks less elegant than, say, Ancient Dragon, wherever it is. Okay, but let me try to do the read again, just for take two. All right. So the first level is going to start with an 8 grid, and this is my very own 8 grid dragon design. It's a very simple form, and the dragon is just made up of shapes. So not a lot of details, but you can still get every proportion and feature of a dragon that you need, like the wings, the legs, the head, and even a tiny set of horns. So even with a very, very low grid of 8, you can still get something pretty cool. All right, so I think I'll use that as the clip. I'll have to see, but hope you guys enjoyed that. Next, we're gonna like jump in complexity a lot. So I might have, I was originally thinking of doing like 8 and then maybe like 1624. No, we're just gonna go straight to 40. Just because I think with some dragons that are in that medium range, like 24, 16, they're not that different than this, and I think this one is just better. So I think it's nicer to just go from like something simple like this to then go into like a rendered out dragon. So what could it be? Jump, big jump, big jump, 40 grid, 40 grid. So I'm gonna try to do this for the video. So the second level is actually a very big jump. It's going to be a 40 grid. And this time, instead of designing a dragon with just shapes, we're actually making all of the details. Now, I would say 40 grid is still not too large of a grid, and you can really get some crazy details like a full set of teeth, really sharp claws, eyes and longer horns, and even some details for the tail. So yeah, that just makes the difference in what you can do with an 8 grid versus what you can do with a 40 grid. It's almost a completely different paradigm of how you're trying to design something. You know, with the low 8 grid, you're just trying to make it look like or interpret it as a dragon, versus with the 40, you're actually starting to make the dragon. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. But yeah, so I know quite a big jump. This you can tutorial this dragon. This dragon has a tutorial technically, but for the 2-headed version, 32 grid scale dragon would like to. Yeah, that does exist. I don't have that to use. Oh, I think 32 and 40 aren't too far off actually. So I would include 32 in the in this category of complexity. I haven't seen any like scaled 24 grids. Oh, I guess did Chris have one? Maybe. I don't know, but yeah, I think 32. Anything with 30 like partials, kind of are in this like this is what you're designing for, right? So instead of just designing with like geometric shapes, you're designing an actual thing. 40 grid, not necessarily the most minimum, but around there. You know, between like maybe even 24 to like 50 would kind of include this. Yeah, Chris is 24 grid. Yeah, again, but then it's partials. So if you take the partial of a 24 grid, that's 48, right? 40 because dragons be zoom true. I guess even technically the teeth partials would be like, this is 80. So, you know. But hopefully that kind of makes sense. Maybe in the actual clip, I just need to like the thought process of what you're designing for differently, or what the dragon's intention is for differently. That's kind of what I want the message to be across. Something like that. Yeah, he did. It was insane. Hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in, everyone who's new. So we're just reviewing and talking about complexity levels of dragons based on grid size. So right now we're kind of agreeing that even with a lower grid than 40, so something like 24, there's techniques you can use like designing with partials or level shifters to add those crazy complex details, even though the grid's not crazy. So yeah, actually, even with just the other example started as an 8 grid. I think with an 8 grid, even if you did partials, you're not going to get scales. Now, if you did like partials of partials, then you're just turning it into not an 8 grid, right? So I think cohesively, this kind of still makes sense. And I think it'll be really cool to show that in the video. Now, the jump from level 2 to level 3 is going to be a little bit less profound, I guess. because it's still within the same design paradigm. But I think all of you will recognize the next dragon I have. But we're not done with level 2 yet. Okay, so actually, I'm going to try to do another read based on what we've already shown a little bit. And this is just like added information. It's normal for us as artists. Oh, what's up, Lowe? Hello, hello. Speaking of Nicholas Lowe, the diagrams were drawn for this were drawn by him. Shout out to Nicholas Lowe. Absolutely insane folder. And diagrammer. So all right, we got our coffee. And then we're going to proceed to the. So I'm going to be talking like I'm making the YouTube video because this part will probably be like the YouTube video. All right. So with level 2, there's actually a very broad range of grids you can use. So not just 40, you could go lower. There's complex dragons like this from 24 grids and even up to 52 grids, just based on some of the proportions or features of the dragon. But they're all kind of within this level where you're starting to design the dragon and adding more details instead of just using shapes to define for the viewer to interpret as a dragon. And so if we just take a small step up from a grid size of 40, add 8 grids to it on each side and go to 48, you can get the same dragon, but with 3 heads. So again, it's not a crazy jump, but it's still within the same paradigm of what these are designed for, just with additional features. And in this case, it's 2 additional identical heads. Okay, so yeah, I think that kind of makes sense, right? Now with the 48 grid, it's not just the heads that you can add, right? I added points to the tail. And then the legs are actually, I think, a little bit longer. I think the front legs are a little bit longer. So I think these ones are just like slightly longer than this one. But if you guys have seen the tutorial, the 2-headed dragon is actually also from the same grid as the 3-headed. It's a 48 grid. You guys might not know the grid of or the crease pattern is not public for the 3-headed, but they're the same grid size. The feature that's missing from the 3-headed is the back spines. So trading out something as simple as back spines and like a little bit of leg detail, I think, will take you from the 2-headed dragon to the 3-headed dragon. It's kind of wild, right? I think also the wings. There's less detail in the wings. I think the 2-headed dragon had these ones, little claws on the end. 3-headed dragon does not have them. So I'm swapping out some details to get a variety of others, but there's a lot you can do with the same grid or with just a slight change in grid. Boyce, you are a very hard worker, man. Real. Thank you. I try. You can be a hard worker too. I folded your Phoenix. Oh, awesome. So of the Phoenix, another great example is also a 48 grid. So in that case, a lot of the paper went to the feathers instead of doing things like teeth or claws, right? Hi, Nicholas. Love the 8-grid dragon. Yeah, 8-grid dragon's great. I'm excited for you all to eventually see those diagrams. Lo, I'm not sure if you were here when I mentioned it, but I'm working on physically printing them. There's a company I'm trying, and they're supposed to send a test copy sometime soon, but they've delayed it for some reason. But hopefully those will be out soon, and then, yeah, very exciting. Bodo. Oh, what's up, Almond? Hello. I am thinking about the 96. Yeah, okay. So I've telegraphed it a little bit. I think you guys might have an idea of what the next one is. Chainsaw Man is nice. Thank you. Hey, Steve. Hello. Stuck in the fold. How's it going? So we are halfway through our kind of dragon description. Now, once again, I'm going to try to do another kind of script read summarizing both of these together. So I'm going to kind of recap on what we talked about introducing this one and then a little bit introducing this guy. And then I think for the actual video, I think I'll use the same footage. I might dub over it with like better scripted English, but this will give me kind of the outline or template to use for the video, which I think will be nice. Okay, I'm going to keep this guy over here, a little bit easier to grab. But yeah, so for people just tuning in, you get to hear basically everything we talked about before. What's my next tutorial? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not sure yet. I'll probably think about it after the origami convention. And I won't take requests yet or ideas because people might want whatever I make before the convention as a tutorial next. So don't want to let people make the wrong choice or something. But yeah, there'll definitely be another tutorial. I'm gonna try to do 1 or 2 hard tutorials every year, and then occasionally I'll do like a simpler tutorial like the box head design. All right, let's try this. So the second level will be quite a big jump. It's going to a 40 grid from an 8 grid. Now, the reason for the jump isn't necessarily just the grid size. This level encompasses maybe even 24 grid all the way up to 50, 64. But it's the paradigm that shifts. So instead of designing a dragon that's meant to be interpreted based on a few shapes, we're actually designing and rendering out a dragon. So this one has a full set of teeth. That's already a lot more detail, a full set of claws, and some detailed wings and tail. So yeah, quite a big jump in grid, but it's also a completely different shift in how we're designing the dragon. We're actually making a dragon. Now, kind of an example is if we bump up from a 40 grid to a 48 grid, still within the same paradigm, but we can get an assortment of other details. And in this case, it is 2 additional heads that are identical to this guy. So 40 grid versus 48 grid, very, very similar, just different choice in what details are added. Another little comparison you can see is in the tails. Small difference, but overall roughly the same. Okay, so I'll probably take that. I'll use the footage. That'll make it into the video. Nice. By the way, this is behind the scenes on how some of my YouTube shorts are made. A lot of times I'm just muttering random stuff, random thoughts and ideas to give myself and trying to put them into cohesive thoughts on what I actually want to like share. I think the recent shorts I've done have been pretty informational. People seem to like them quite a lot. So yeah, hopefully these work. Can you redesign my Chainsaw Man? I do want to. Maybe I'll redesign Chainsaw Man for when season 2 of the anime comes out, and then I can post it and kind of ride the wave of Chainsaw Man hype. I'm still waiting for Bow Ryujin. You hear that, Bodo? When's the Bow Ryujin happening? Pokey, try designing a 6-limbed humanoid, 4 arms and 2 legs. A long time ago, I think it was like my second design, I did a Kaneki Ken. So he's got like 4, or he's got 8, I guess. Now hold that thought. We have the third part of the stream, which is kind of design overview and maybe just some live designing. So I can maybe quickly draw up how I would do a 6-armed human. So yeah, stay tuned. We're almost done with this section, and then we'll pop on over to the next, and maybe that'll be the first thing I design. Man, promise? Oh, I'm not promising anything. Remember, my motto for myself is I only fold and I only design things I want to design, right? So no one else gets to choose. That's how I avoid burnout. It's just up to me. So that if it's something I want to do at the time, I'll do it. If it's not something that I want to do at the time, I won't do it. But I think it's a very healthy way to approach origami. I see a lot of people try to fold like crazy complex stuff and always try to beat their last design. And they end up making things that they don't necessarily enjoy, or thinking they need to make things they don't necessarily enjoy. And I don't think that's good, because for me, origami at foremost has to be fun. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong, or for the wrong reason. We had some emotes. Yeah, see, that makes sense now, right? But who knows? Maybe you'll see the Chainsaw Man. Maybe honestly, I don't even know when the anime comes out. So when they announce that, maybe that's when I'll start. But you'll probably see it being designed in a live stream. That's probably one I'll do in the live stream. Because that's good to do a redesign. That's a good live stream idea. Friday X. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Check Origami Dan materials. Okay, I'll check it really quick before we move on to the last stage of complexity that I'm going to talk about in this video. Obviously, I think there's more. I think at the very peak, there's the King Ghidorah with all the scales. And that would be like a category where you need like 2-meter paper to fold. Or we're not going to talk about that complexity level. It's just like, it doesn't make sense for the video I'm trying to make. Wanted a tutorial crease pattern for the one-headed dragon. So the deal is, if you fold the two-headed dragon, and you message me, and it's done well enough, it's not just crumpled up from printer paper, then you get the crease patterns for these two. So DM me on Instagram and with your finished fold, and I'll send it to you. Okay. What is my age? Guys, be careful. Do not reveal personal information on the internet. So I won't give you my age. And if someone asks for your age, don't give them your age. Be very careful. Internet's scary. Okay. Materials. Let me go to my stream. Go to screen share. Okay. So we have, should I get this? MC isn't available in Australia. I am pretty sure it is, but CMC powder. Yeah, that's the same thing. I am pretty sure it's available in, let me find it right now. And I'm going to sneeze really quick. 1 second. Sorry. Let me go to this. You're just going to look at some dragons while I quickly, I probably shouldn't do this on stream, but I'm pretty sure I can find it fast enough. Melbourne. Boom. It's in Australia. It's available. You just have to look a little bit. But I hope that helps. Now, I don't necessarily recommend this Linico one. It's what I use, but the cheap CMC powders work well too. You just want to test it out first to find the ratio. Sometimes it's a little bit different, but yeah. It's there. Okay. My watercolor always feel free to ask any question. Yeah. I'll try to answer it if it's relevant. Revealing age is a personal thing. Okay. Did you use any character reference for the three-headed dragon? There are some really unique wings on it. Did I? That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe. I think I Googled dragons. Maybe I Googled three-headed dragons. But I do have a lot of influence from Monster Hunters. I've played almost every single Monster Hunter game, and I have an art book that I often look at for references, but I also just Google a lot. So there might have been one that I saw something like this where it's like the pointed wing type thing. But honestly, I think this is more from like maybe a vampire character or like a some kind of humanoid with wings type thing, more so than a dragon one. It was kind of like, what can I fit with the rest of the paper that looks okay? And I think it kind of works, but yeah, it's very different than like a normal dragon wing, which is normally just bat wings, like this. Stands a complex dragon with a 46 grid. Nice. You going to show how to fold something today? No, I'm not going to show how to fold anything today. I will show how I design today. How about adding more heads? Yeah, you can. So I think with the same head structure, as long as you can fit it, which the three-headed one in this case, it's in the middle, and then these two are in the corners. But you can also add more to like the other edge. If you had more space, it just reduces the rest of the body and stuff. So actually, like I think there's even enough room that instead of these wings, they could turn into heads. What are some of the best papers for origami? Good question. I posted a link earlier, but I will post it again. Good question. Good question. This link will help you. I have a friend on Discord. I asked him to fold my complex dragon. He said first collapse and show me, but I don't shape well. Well, yeah, it's hard to he'd kind of be inventing on his own if he doesn't have reference. Looks useful. You're gonna show. Okay. Thanks for response. Okay, cool. Kiwi, what's up, Kiwi? Yeah, it is late for you, as it is late for me. So thanks for tuning in. Can't stay, but I hope you have a good night. Thank you, thank you. It's been pretty fun so far with everyone here. Okay, that's paper resources. Robbie asks, are there any levels between 8 and 40 you could recommend? Well, so I think from 8, maybe. Actually, I don't know any particular dragons that are on YouTube. Maybe some of not on grids. So a lot of the level that you can fold between 8 and 40 would be like normally designed dragons. So dragons designed from like a traditional base, or a Neil's dragon, which is like bird base with some maybe it's Blint bird base. I think it's Blint's bird base. Or just a Blintz fold and then a bird base. So something from there that would be pretty simple. If Tadashi Moore's Pocket Dragon, let me grab the link for that. That's one of my favorite dragons within like the beginner to intermediate level. That I recommend to people to fold, because you can fold it with printer paper. I did it and I've made a really nice one from it. So I think it's a very balanced design and is a tutorial. So you guys can have at that pretty easily. That'd be a good one to try. Love my assassin. Thank you. 4 heads. Fiery Dragon's also a good one. And yeah, that's kind of in the same realm as like the 8 grid dragon. And a little bit more, I guess. So this is by Cade Chan. I kind of prefer the original Fiery Dragon over the version 2. I think it's got a little bit more elegant presence to it. The version 2 just has like the 3-pronged tail and like different horns. But yeah, I don't know. I like the original one. It's a classic. How do your streams have no background noise? Well, so right now, because I'm recording. Oh man, I meant to stop this recording earlier. Okay, reset the clips. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, we took a clip. But because I'm recording for another YouTube video, I don't want like music in the background to interrupt it. If you're talking about like ambient noise, the microphone's really good at cutting out noise. It's oh man, I'm turning into tech YouTube. Okay, this microphone, despite it being USB, it's both like a condenser microphone and a what do you call it? Okay, I can't remember, but it's got like, normally people will plug like an XLR mic into another interface to process the sound before it hits your computer. That's happening from this mic already. So the microphone audio gets put into something in the back of this microphone, processes the noise, does the noise reduction, all that fancy stuff, and then sends that data to my computer. So that's why it sounds nicer than a lot of other USB microphones. It's because it's doing more than just what like a Blue Yeti microphone does. It's doing a lot more. Sorry, that was random. One day I will make a video on what equipment you should use for making origami videos. But that's a video I want to make. So okay, so let's get into this last part of design. You guys have some great questions, but I need to just wrap this up and then start getting into the third part of the stream, which you can ask a lot more questions and I'll be able to answer them a little bit more easily. And that's kind of how we'll wind down for the night. So let me start the recording again for my video. And then we are going to get to the next level. So let's move this out of the way. And I'm going to do something like this. You might have seen that, a little spoiler. All right, so the last level of drag, or the last level of complexity for, I don't like the phrasing. I'll say the third, not the last. It's definitely not the last. And the third level of complexity is with a 96 by 96 grid. So if you chop that into squares, that's a lot of squares. And this happens to be the Ryujin 3.5 designed by Satoshi Kamiya. It's just a legendary design. How could I not feature it? An innovative dragon featuring thousands of scales that are individually folded, a really unique body structure, and just a whole challenge of folding that has become very popular throughout the many years since its debut. Okay, I'm gonna not use that, but it's something along those lines. I'm just hyping up the Ryujin a whole bunch. Yeah, so Ryujin, why is this the third one? I think it's mainly that this design features a whole lot just besides how it looks. So I don't know how many of you have folded the Ryujin yourself. Yeah, what a shocker. Good one, Bodo. Yeah, what a shocker. But apart from the Ryujin 2.5, Pocket Dragon, Tadashi Mori, maybe. Okay, so yeah, besides just like how it looks, for one, this design, it used, the Pythagorean stretch efficiently, I think, and it was one of the innovative features for the Ryujin at its time. Like nowadays, Pythagorean stretch in a box plate model, it means nothing, it's all over the place, okay, you can where the circles or the boxes cross a little bit, but the circles wouldn't in your flap, then you can save some space, efficiency, the whole thing, whatever. Back in the day, they didn't have Ori edit. Not as many people really understood stuff like that, so it's kind of crazy. Additionally, just like the structure of swiveling the legs over, they're like in the middle and to have scales on top is very interesting. And then the neck twist, which a lot of people talk about, but the neck twist for the head and then the head itself is just a very unique, I guess, choice in how this model works, that even nowadays you don't see as often. You might see maybe even more efficient ways to do stuff and not have to do a neck twist, but it's just kind of novel for this design, and it adds a lot of complexity when you try to collapse it. It's just very strange. In addition, it almost escapes box plating a little bit. It's not really like doing a 22.5 the box plate transition, but it kind of gets close to it a little bit, but not like a real one. But yeah, very, very unique. Even the tail has some funky stuff going on just to make it work. It's and it still kind of holds up to today, I mean, nowadays we do have the Moa V3, but for a really long time it was Ryujin 3.5, and then maybe some similar looking ones. Okay, let's rechat. Maybe I could be wrong on things I said. Maybe the transition is 22.5 the box. I don't know. Oh yeah, there's Age Dragon as well. I broke out the Ryujin. Crazy. I think the transitions into Ryujin are, oh well, I don't know if they're nicer. They're basically the same, but the Age Dragon, it's like grafted scales. Well, I guess you could say the same thing for. Oh, okay, never mind. But I think the Ryujin's elegant. Japanese spiny lobster. Okay, very valid. Friday, I'm lazy. Okay. Videos are hard to make. Videos are hard to make. I can make H Dragon with 3-meter paper. True. Region 3.5 ahead of its time for real. Yeah. Very ahead of its time. I think that's kind of what I want in the actual YouTube short. I definitely want to mention that it was ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time. Check Origami Dan, please. Okay, let me. It's $40 plus shipping. Well, this, yeah, I think so. It's methyl cellulose again. It's not something like you have to have the exact one. You know, get the cheap ones and try it. And if it doesn't work, try a different cheap one. Maybe that works. And if that still doesn't work, maybe it's you're using the wrong ratio. But probably not. It's not too difficult to get used to it. You just got to practice a little bit. But it's very common because it's used in food. Like maybe not that exact one. That one might be archival. Cheap is good. Saving money, save money. You know, it's like people ask me about tissue papers. I've for some reason I get a lot of messages. People are really concerned about the quality of tissue paper. Get the cheap ones. Like if you're just starting off making double tissue, you're not going to be able to get the benefits of a higher quality tissue paper yet. You know, obviously there are some bad tissue papers, but the mediocre ones, use them to practice. You can fold them just fine. And then once you get good at, you know, that process, you can start to capitalize on the benefits of better tissue papers. But why get the nicest tissue paper and then make double tissue with thousands of wrinkles, right? Because it's your first try. Like, there's no point. Save money, you know. Learn cheaply. It's good stuff. I've heard that dental glue is some kind of good alternative for MC. Oh, I've never tried dental glue. That's interesting. Alternatives I've tried. I've tried some. Well, I've tried wallpaper paste. I think that's PVA more so than MC. But like white glues work. PVAs work. It's kind of a different process because it's more sticky sometimes. But since Bodo's here, if y'all go back a few years, I did a video for Bodo, who had a video competition of using a glue stick to do double tissue. So I did glue stick double tissue and folded Obelisk's housemaid from it. And you can go see the results of that video and if it worked or if it didn't work. But yeah. Look for wallpaper glue. Look for powder. Yeah. There you go. Bodo's got the answer for you. First crease pattern is on my channel is of a sports car. Nice. The MC I'm using is well. Okay, so yeah, maybe the wallpaper paste is just MC as well. Maybe it doesn't even have PVA in it. I think the one I don't know. It was years ago. I didn't even know what any of those things meant. I just saw Tim Rickman's video where he used wallpaper paste, and I bought wallpaper paste. But yeah, there's a lot of options. You don't have to, you know, whatever you can get, basically. Would you recommend online store for buying paper? If you live in the United States, yeah, online stores work really, really well. If you live in Europe, I think they work really well. I just don't have personal experience. But if you live somewhere else in the world, I have another link for you, which is great. And it's more so like some regions have paper stores that I found with other handmade papers, and some is just like where to get double tissue or tissue paper for double tissue. But it seems like methyl cellulose is using starch. Maybe it has that use. I'm not too sure. If you want to see, yeah, I'm not too sure. Okay, so let me continue a little bit on this region. I'm trying to think if I need to explain anything more besides that. I don't think I think I can be pretty short on the Ryujin for the last part because it's so it's Ryujin. I'm probably gonna use the footage of me presenting it and then the photos I took a few years ago, just because this guy, he's kind of falling apart a little bit. He's getting a little old, and the tissue paper I used is not that great for archival purposes. So you can see like a lot of folds get lumpy here, and then a lot of the scales are kind of weak. But even so, not bad, right? Can you give me a review of my origami sports car? So I won't do that right now, but if you post it in Origami Dan, there might be a chance I check it out next week, especially if you like tag me for the live stream. Don't spam, but if it's somewhere I can easily see, then that'd be a good place to do it. I saved a photo of the paper I used. Okay, so yeah, so I was prepping for the video, right? So this was 2020. That's the tissue paper I use. Single tissue, overlapped a few times. That is a hole I patched because the single tissue ripped when I was treating it. But overall, not bad, right? And then the story with this is I got that tissue paper for free because it came packaged with something else I had gotten online. So, free. Where to buy a tissue paper in EU, so European Union. Bosner, I think, ships outside of Germany. So, I think it should be kind of easy to do. Long Live Chow from Twitch just followed. Thank you for the follow. Thanks for watching on Twitch as well. We're doing a dual stream between Twitch and YouTube. Hello, hello. Oh goodness, this is a wait, what? That's a bot. Never mind. Go away. We don't want you here. No bots. Let me ban. Sorry. Delete. Ban. Bye bye. Okay. Thanks for the follow and goodbye. Okay. He's been around. We all show a little wear and tear. Yes, absolutely. See if there's a Bosner where you live. Yeah, if not, I think any general art store should have tissue paper. I don't know what country in the EU you're coming from, but general art stores are like tissue paper is used a lot for gifts, right? So any culture of gift giving should probably have tissue paper sometimes. GG's with single tissue. I still remember struggling with tracing paper on my region. Dex has an awesome region that's massive. It's a big one. And it's from a size that I more so recommend than folding from this one. But there's a cool picture of me and Dex holding our regions next to each other. I think with Brandon's. So Brandon's is like the medium sized one. Mine's the tiny one. And Dex is the full size. Slovakia. Okay. And Korea. Korea has awesome paper. I have some paper from a Korean folder. That I have yet to use. It's a really big paper. So it's some form of like Hanji, which I know Hanji is in general just Korean paper. But it's a mulberry paper that's been dyed. And apparently this is like super common. And this is like not even the highest quality papers that they use. This is just like a regular paper, which is really impressive because it's really good. Okay, so do I need to say anything else about the region? So I think the main point is that it's ahead of its time. It's got thousands of scales, really unique structure from the way the body is formed and neck. But okay, maybe the neck connection, the connections between the neck, body, and legs. And then okay, yeah, and then I have this time. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do another thing for my YouTube video, really quick, and we're gonna go back from here and I'm going to push these guys out of the way for the clip. And then I'll go back to answering chat, and then we'll start answering questions and doing some design stuff. Am I American? Yes, I am American. Bodo also has a sheet. Yes, yes. Bodo also has one of those. I think it's a very similar blue color too. It's impressive, you know, Hanji. Yes, yes. Yeah, Korea is awesome. The origami folders are crazy good. Okay. All right. And the third level of complexity will be shown with a 96 grid. And what better model than the Ryujin 3.5 designed by Satoshi Kamiya? Oh, goodness. What? Satoshi Kamiya. Satoshi Kamiya. I don't even know what the correct accent is supposed to. Okay. Satoshi Kamiya. I'll say that. I'm still probably butchering the pronunciation. Because I think the way that in America, I think we say Kamiya Satoshi or Satoshi Kamiya, but I feel like that's really wrong. But at the same time, I don't want to like fake or get the pronunciation but like wrong in the other direction. But I think Kamiya is safe. It's still American, but like it's safe. Okay. And the third level of complexity will be shown with a 90. Okay. And a third level. Oh, goodness. Okay. YouTube video behind the scenes. I mess up a lot. All right. We're going to restart. And the third level of complexity will be with a 96 by 96 grid. And what better model to show than the Ryujin 3.5 designed by Satoshi Kamiya? Now, this model is, of course, very, very well known, but it's also ahead of its time. So not just is it very grand with its thousands of individually folded scales, but there's a really unique structure between the connection of the neck or the head to body, between the legs and body, and even just the body connecting to itself. That is really different from what you normally see in origami, and just something very unique. Yeah, very unique. We're going to cut part of this out. And just something that makes the Ryujin stand out as such an impressive design. It's widely considered as one of the it's been widely considered the pinnacle of origami for many, many years. And while there are some new dragons out there that kind of okay, I don't know what I'm saying here. We're gonna use the first part. I'm gonna think of the second part and film that later. But I think the first part's fine. Okay, well, yeah, thank you everyone for coming to the main content, which was just discussing the complexity levels of origami dragons with grid size a little bit and helping me make my video. Hopefully that makes sense. I think cohesively the video will be very entertaining to watch. So stay tuned for that coming out. I promise I won't go too long with my explanations, and I'll try to make it make sense. All right. Yeah, I have to flex the region, of course. Where's Momoa? Exactly. How did I make the giant samurai? I have a YouTube video of how I made it. You should go check that out. I did not make it very well, I will say. I think I should have added a lot more structure on the inside. That would have been a lot better. Try to make Ryujin from mulberry paper, but my dog tore it up. That's so sad. Even if you pronounce stuff wrong, it's not too bad. Yeah, okay, that's true. Everyone knows who he is. Can you suggest some good origami clubs in San Francisco that I can visit? Oh, okay. Gaurav, have you heard of the East Bay? Oh no, wait, the Cow Origami. It's not in San Francisco. It's hosted by UC Berkeley. But once the school year starts, I think they have weekly meetings. So if you haven't seen my video on that, that's really recent. Go check that out. And I have the group in the links in the description. And I think from their like Instagram, you can join their Discord from their website and ask around. But also in San Francisco is, I think it's Paper Tree. Um, yes. So this store, if you haven't been there, you should go. It's been an origami store for multiple generations. Garf, I'm from India. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, you're gonna be later in the year. Okay, okay. So yeah, this is the one to visit. And then also, if they're hosting meetings, you want to keep maybe message the cow origami. So let me just drop that link for you here too. But again, these are linked in my YouTube video. And see if their meeting times line up with your travel times. It might not, but it might. So that would be a good place to start. That'd be cool for you to meet other origami folders for sure. And that community is really friendly. Yeah. Where's Momo? Okay. Okay, so let's transition to not this. Let's open up Oriedit. And because I will make your best origami samurai in real life. Big one. So if you want to make it in real life, you actually have to make a much larger paper than what I even used. I think like you have to use 4-meter paper. So you can try, but I recommend actually like cheating, what people would consider cheating, and fold each part separately and then glue them together. So like fold the arm on its own with the sword, and then like attach it with wires and stuff after, So it's like you chopped this. So it's not quite origami, but if you want it to look good, I think that's how you should do it. Folding it from one square. It's a fun challenge, but it won't look very good. Okay, so yes, we are on the third part of our schedule for today, which is design breakdown. Okay, so I left this kind of open. I was either going to explain further about the Tingyun design, things that I think are useful for learning how to design that I didn't mention in the YouTube video, or we can just like design something roughly from scratch. So maybe you'll start to get the concepts. I've done this before. Might not be the most useful thing because I'm not folding anything, but maybe people have random ideas. Like someone had the idea of doing a human with 4 arms, and just like what would that look like as a crease pattern? We can do that too. Well, 10 by 10 meters. Oh, okay. Good luck. That's crazy. I don't know where you would find space to even make that paper, but if you do, that's awesome. Okay, so if no one has any, okay, so maybe we'll do a poll. Let me set this up. Sorry, Twitch. We're just gonna do this on YouTube. I think I can do a poll. Start a poll, and this will be design breakdown or design new random thing. The question is which one? Okay, so let's run this. See what y'all want. It doesn't have to be the Tingyun. I could break down other designs too that you want to see. But yeah, let me know. Oh, it's pretty even, but now design random thing is starting to pull ahead. New random thing. I think new random thing is the winner. Okay, I'll end it here. And then in case, which I have a feeling people will ask about this, I am going to do that. And let me pin this message. No, I don't want to do emoji. Okay, someone type a chat so that I can pin the message. It's like blocked by the emoji on my end. Oh, maybe I'll just send an emoji myself. Okay. No, that didn't work. Oh, thank you. Okay. Boom. They will. Yeah. Okay. There's the link, and if anyone is watching this in the future, you can find a link there. Okay. So design something random. Okay. So now from random, do you want to see the um, human with 6 arms? Maybe we do. I don't think we need a poll for this. Okay, so if I see anything better than human with 6 arms, we'll do it. But otherwise, we'll try human with 6 arms. I'll give like 2 minutes for stuff to catch up. That link is for the program. Yes, yes. Itachi. Okay, that might take a little bit longer. So I don't exactly want to do that because the details will be a lot. But okay. Dex sitting on a frog skeleton. Okay, we're gonna do the human with 6 arms. Here for Bodo's thing, right? Okay, here, frog, right? Dex. Boom. There. Okay. So okay, we don't need this big of a grid. Let's start here. And then let's chop this off. Random stream thing. My current need is for a guinea pig or Iron Man. Okay, so I think we'll do the a lot of the ideas right now have what makes them different from like a regular person is the like surface details. So like Iron Man, it's because of his armor, and then like guinea pig even. You could take just the base mammal, and then you like make it like more guinea pig than pig or something else. So for that sort of thing, that's a little different, a little bit more detailed. I think for today we'll do overall structure. So keep it really basic, basic designing. So I think in that case, human with 6 arms, right? That's just purely structure. We don't have any idea what the human is like. So that'll be fine for now. And so this is how I would approach it. So you saw in maybe you haven't seen, but in a Tingyun video, I like to start off with the stick figure and defining the details. So if it was something as detailed like Iron Man, then those details I would have to extrapolate them and then plan for them like that. Or for example, Dex on a frog skeleton, right? Well, the skeleton is kind of easy. The bones would be flaps, right? And Boda's really good at doing skeletons, right? So this is obviously not a frog skeleton, but you would have to plan for that with the details. And then Dex, I would have to make it look like Dex. So a little different, but kind of the same process of what I would extrapolate. But we're not going to do that now because I need like reference image to do that. For here, we can just take human. So the general, I'll start with the general human on the proportions I've been enjoying to shape with. Is generally I will have a human with 7. This is 7. And then units for the legs, and then 2 units. I don't know if I can draw 2. 2. Oh wait, 2 units for the body. And now I do 7 unit legs with 1 unit feet. So that technically is just an 8 unit flap, but I really enjoy this. And then the 2 unit body, actually, I like to do it as 4. But it's going to turn into 2. So, but for figure, I'm going to plan for 4. And the reason is because when you have length 4, you can make the back a stick by adding folds in. So it'd be like 2 valley folds on one of them and then 2 valley folds for the upper one. Okay, I have a grid. So instead of it being, so if the body's 4, right, we're going to shrink it. So 1 becomes used for like our rabbit ear. And then the top one is the same. Right. So those are kind of just to transition the body into something like a stick like that. And I'll explain why I like this stick. But then the actual length becomes 2 units long. It's not actually 4 units long. So that's just a proportion thing. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. Tree man. Eventually do a family tree. That'd be great. I made a part of the human skeleton of 36th grade. Ooh. For baby, basically small dragon guinea pig. I think getting proportions just right is more critical. Yeah, exactly. Proportions are hard to learn. They're very hard to learn. It's just practice, and trial and error. Okay. Maybe I should explain why I like this. So the reason I like this is because instead of trying to fit all the body details into an axis, which this becomes limited to an axis. So something like it's so nice. I have my case. I can just turn around and grab stuff. So instead of something like this, right, where the axis, you can basically see the 2 unit wide stuff from here, just going up. Instead of the torso details being locked into place like this, which it works on like more masculine armor type things where it's okay to be kind of blocky. You can use a different set of flaps on top of that thin spine of a body and then give a little bit more curvature. So this one is a 24 grid. So it's lower grid. And so the details are made kind of differently. The same 2 unit wide, 2 unit top type thing doesn't exactly, line up like it does on the assassin. So you can see where I've been able to just shape in the difference between the chest and the torso. And overall for the shape of the body, it like speaks wonders. So that's why I've been enjoying that. It's just more flexible for how I want to shape things. And if you watched the design vlog from Starfield, oh, rest in peace that game. I got color change in the torso because of that very reason. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. Ask what you're confused about. Okay, so normally we have our human with our 2 arms, and then I like to have the neck. So same reason, one of these gets chopped off for transitioning the neck to make it thinner. And then a lot of times, like maybe this one transitions back out. So maybe we do 4 unit neck, and then our face flap. I've been doing a face that comes from a 2 unit flap, but after folding it a ton, it becomes 1 unit long. So I'm going to do it like this, but if it becomes 1 unit long, then it also takes up part of the neck. So if I only did this, right, then there's like the neck is crunched into the shoulders and it looks all disconnected and weird. So the more space I can get for this, the better. A lot of times I think I'm only able to actually get that. But that's fine. I think it's good enough. If you shape it and smush it enough, it works. Now the other thing is we need another set of arms. So I think the best thing to do would be to make the arms maybe stick out here, just so they're from the same hinge point. But what would be interesting to try is actually making them actually no, this wouldn't work because our body's 2 units. Okay, we're just gonna make them. Well, we could maybe try this. So this would look weird, but no, I think I think the arms should come from the shoulders. Okay, we're gonna make them come from the same point, but be the same lengths. And then sometimes I'll have the fingers right from like that. But in this case, we're going to omit fingers for now. I don't think it's a necessary detail, and we'll just try to get this structure. And in this case, we can maybe go 6 units long for the arms. Oh, we'll try 5 first. We'll try 5. Okay, so this is what we're working with. And let's start designing. I'm actually going to design this way. So just like I showed in the Tingian video, the easiest thing to start with is just the leg. So 2, 4, 6, 7. And then we have 1 for the foot. It's like this. And then I don't know what the grid is going to be yet. So I'm just going to leave this open-ended and we can change that anytime. And to find our square again, we just draw a diagonal. Just do plant method for hands. Yeah, the plant method for hands is an option if the hands are on the edge. You can even get some fingers details in there like that, but it's not too hard to pack in fingers. So we'll see if we have space. Sometimes we need to consume space, and that can help. Okay, so the next thing is the body. So we can plan for that 4 units of body, right? Now we don't know where exactly this river is going to travel yet, but the brute force thing to do is just to leave this 4 units in space. But we can change this later if we need to. So technically we also have our other leg here, but I like to cover that torso with something else, right? So a lot of times it could be a shirt or shorts. Now, if I just do a shirt and no pants, it looks kind of strange. So to ensure we at least have some room for pants, or at least to transition maybe into a belt, I'm going to leave a 1 unit flap right here. And this will either let me widen my legs without having to force it, or it'll give me just an extra flap for maybe shorts or something like that. Or something, because this can, to become pants, you could even just bring it lower. So this is equivalent to this, basically, where all we really did is drag the location a bit lower, but we didn't change the overall length or anything of the leg. So like this, you can kind of just drag it up and down. But just having it at the top leaves us room. And it's very easy to do that in actual folding as a lie stretch. Not just dragging it into software. You can actually like drag it in your origami fold too. Pretty fun. Okay, so our shirt. Now our torso is only 2 units long, so we could just do 2 units for the shirt like that. Again, I like to leave a little extra space, so we'll give 3 units. Now we have some waist space here, but this can kind of, maybe this is like the frill of the shirt or a tie. But we'll leave some room like that. I like to do a 3 unit. Now this would be if it comes to a point, but again, for shaping, we're going to leave a little bit of room. And now our axis is basically like this. But we might not have an axis, so not necessary. Okay, so what we have so far is the body, and we have some things that I just prefer that aren't necessarily on our tree. And for now, we have our grid size of 2. Actually, okay, well, where's the, is it this tool that tells me how long? 26. So this is a 26 grid right now. It's not great because it's 13 and a half. A lot of times when you have one division of a grid, that's 13 or that's odd, then what happens is when you fold your grid, you can't exactly have a nice mountain valley sequence. Like I think, oh no, 26 is fine. Never mind. But if, I don't know, there's something I don't like about 13. Maybe it's fine. Maybe, maybe, never mind. Forget what I said. Okay, 26 for now. Subject to change. We have this. Okay, so we have basically this whole bottom half with some extra details, which if we want to fill in on our tree, so I'm going to make a different tree. So this is the tree we started from. And then do this tree will be what our crease pattern represents, which right now there's 2 1-unit flaps here. And then there's 1 3-unit flap here. And then a 2-unit flap here. Yeah, I think that's right. Cool. Okay, so now we can continue. So arms. Arms will be 5 units long. So what I can do is I can just draw 5 units like this. But because it's on an edge, not a corner, the amount of space that it takes is like this. Or actually, technically, we could just draw the whole box like this. And, right. So now basically, I want to fit it somewhere in our square. And, right, I can kind of place it anywhere that doesn't intersect with something else. So like if I put it here, it's colliding with our torso. So say for instance, actually it was right here, right? It's colliding with our torso, which means we would need to either like reflect our torso this way so that we still have enough space. But then that would actually position the arm. So I would put an arm like here, right? Because it's underneath the body. And we don't want that. So we need it somewhere on top of the body. And so it just makes sense for now to leave it minimally right there. So does that make sense why the arm has to be above this area? Let me just see what y'all think. Hello. Hey, welcome to the stream. Hello, I'm back. Oh, welcome back to the stream. Try to pronounce my name. If it's malicious, I don't know, but I think it's just Friday's X. I don't know. Is that like a got him or something like that? I don't know. Do the side emojis only show for me? No, I think they show for everyone. I'm not sure if it shows in the chat window that's on my screen, but I think if I wasn't here, I'll have to watch the stream again. Yeah, don't worry. This stream will be posted so you can watch. Oh, and I forgot. I actually messed this up. So we're not at a 26 grid. We're at a 28 grid. And this would just be if we wanted it symmetrical, which in this case I do. So that's kind of fine. Okay, so that's our square we're working with. We might need more space, we might not. Because we don't just have one arm, right? We have 2 arms. So one thing you could do is you could just stack it vertically. So this would be another arm that is along the same starting point as the other one. So it'd be like this. Those two arms would be like that. Right. So which is what we want. Now, this takes a lot of vertical space. As you can see, our square is now a rectangle. We might not want that. So we could also use horizontal space. So in that case, it'd be like this. But we don't have that edge, so we have to draw the full box. And that would still do the same thing. So now this is a question of, do we want to use vertical space or horizontal space? Either way, we're probably going to have to expand our grid. But one funny thing we could do is, right, we could do hybrid and have one arm take up horizontal space and the other set of arms take up more vertical space. And the only reason we would need to do this is if we think we could possibly have enough room in this area to maybe do our head and neck, which this would be actually long enough for what we have shown here. Actually, not quite. If we don't have this, it would be like this. Now, this is still not square. So either way, we do kind of have to move horizontally to compensate with how vertical this is. So let me check how long this is. This is 33 units long, which is oh wait, it's 32. Okay, hold on. This needs to be brought down. I counted 5, not 4. Okay, like that. Now this should be 32. So this would be for a 32 grid. Or technically, actually, oh wait, we can have this as a corner. What is this? This is 27. Did I count that right? 27. Okay, yeah. Why is it 27? 3, 5, 10, 15, 19, 27. Okay, yeah, it is 27. So already we have a weird issue that it's on an odd thing. But like in theory, this is possible. In theory. Am I trying to make a wasp or what? No, this is someone requested a human with 6 limbs, so 4 arms and 2 legs. And I'm kind of just showing what different options you might have if you're trying to design this. And this one is really weird. The packing actually works, but in like actual folding wise, the grid won't really allow you to do this because this is kind of assuming that this becomes an axis. Whereas if you were to actually fold this, because it's odd, it just doesn't line up nicely. But in theory, you could do this. I do think the better option, or we can still kind of have it asymmetrical, but what I would like to do is just bring everything out by another 2 units and have okay, so this can stay. And that way we can get this, which is on our original crease pattern. I think this is technically that. We don't really need this. But like if we wanted more details, we could. And we do have some more space in here to change up the details, but everything else is kind of aligning. I think from here we actually have to 2, 4, 5. Like we have some extra room here that we don't need. Oh. So this doesn't exactly work. I think because we chose 5-unit arms, not 6-unit arms, it's throwing us off a little bit. But like maybe we could just do 2, 4, 6. It's always good to line it up evenly. So even if this was 5, 2, 4, 5, 5. I think it should be 6. So we might need more. I think 5 is just such a weird number to use. Right. So now things will fit in like this. And we might have to expand the grid a little bit because now our other set of arms aren't exactly in line. But if we did something like this, right? So how much more space do we need? Okay, so one of our arms is still a little short. But it can be solved by just expanding the grid another 2 units. So you can see how, there's some softwares that can help you do this without problem solving, but I like to think through it on my own. I find this process very fun. And it helps me, my understanding of just what's going on. And I think this needs to go up 2 units too. There you go. So now we actually have this entire guy, or this entire stick figure, translated into this, and we have all this extra space to do something with. What are we going to do with it? Who knows? This actually needs to, I think, go like that. Is that right? Yeah, I think this works. Yeah, okay. So, shouldn't have 6 arms. They requested 4 arms, 2 legs, so 6 limbs in total. My voice is not, sorry, I moved away from my camera a little bit, and my voice is getting dry. There we go. Okay. And once again, allergies are getting bad. Let me blow my nose, clear everything up, and then I think I'll sound a little bit better. Okay. So yeah, this might not be the best way to do this, but you can do it like this. So I guess this is kind of just what I wanted to show on stream with something weird like that request. Is that it doesn't have to be fully symmetrical. You can kind of plan for things like that. Your torso, when it's 2 units tall, doesn't have to start as 2 units tall. You can plan for something else if you know what you're going to do. You can add details instead of doing this. You can even, and yeah, you can just like do really weird stuff. So if we look at like the Tingyun, right? So in this case, we had details that needed to be below the body, and then other ones that needed to be on top of the body. So that's why this works well. Being so strange and zigzaggy here is because this section ends up below the body, and then this one flap that's above the body can be above the body and connect in line with our head and neck, and vice versa. The arms and the hair obviously are above the body, but we don't have to do anything too crazy with having the neck be like this instead of somewhere up closer to the top. So, right, interesting, right? Okay, so what's the final crease pattern going to look like? Well, so what you could do from here basically is so we can at least get this flat folding into a stick. Well, for one, you would need to figure out what you want to do with this space or that flap. You could turn it into something. Maybe you could close the back with it, right? Just use that flap to cover the entire backside. But it's basically another flap that's just on the shoulders. That's 2, 4. I don't know if this is exactly right, or if that's just a river. But there's just a weird space that you could turn into things. There, but let me show you what the crease pattern would look like. But generally, when you design, once you get experienced enough, you don't need to fill in all the flat folding creases. You can just go off the structure, and generally it'll be good enough. Maybe not good enough to share with people, but like if you're folding it on your own, you don't actually have to do stuff. So I'm gonna do something a little bit wonky, just for the sake of time. And instead of doing the like zigzaggy thing, I'm just gonna put a pleat through the body to simulate us taking up one space, and then that will allow me to have an access to transition, so we can make a flat folded model. So this part I'm not gonna explain a whole lot. You're just gonna. This is just like a trust me. Is it like this? Maybe. Okay. We'll figure that out in a little bit, but we're gonna put the pleat in first. This is our access, and then there's a tool in Oriedit where you can just draw like a bunch of these. And that makes it really easy to fill in since it's box pleat. So these are just, again, it's called box pleat, right? So we're filling in the pleats. And the way I know what direction this is, mountain on the outside, right? And this is how you plan a flap. If you don't understand this part, just look at a lot more box pleating crease patterns, and like filling in these lines makes a lot of sense. There's not too much to explain. But then to go from just that to flat folding will be a little bit different. But like here, we're already almost all the way through. Actually, I probably shouldn't have drawn that first. Okay. Can you make a man holding a trident with 2 hands? Normal human? Yeah, you can try folding this out and then shape it into whatever you'd like. Okay, I think this will be the only one I do for this stream. If you have ideas, come next stream. Even if it's kind of simple like this, then we can do it. If not, then we'll have to try something else. But okay, and then the transition for this, I'm trying to remember. I think we can do this. And then now we just have to convert. So there's a tool we can see everything that's wrong here. All those little dots. And we can resolve them by making these alternate mountain valley. Oops. So yeah, doing stuff like this, again, you just kind of have to look at a lot of crease patterns to understand what makes it flat folding. But a lot of times how I tell people to learn how to do what I'm doing is try to redraw a crease pattern that you can see, but on your own. So you go into Origami, you look at a picture of a crease pattern that has all the lines, and then you try to recreate it yourself and use this tool to then understand like what makes it flat folding, or which ones need to alternate, all that kind of stuff. Transitions like this is a little bit trickier, but not terribly bad. Wait, I think I messed this up. Maybe I delete that. How does this work? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then so like again, right here, I'm just clicking through until it works, just because I know it's something along the lines like this. And then from there, the software can help you figure it out. That's not right. These need to be alternating too. Oh. Okay, let's do the other things first. I think I'm it's something like that. Okay, we'll fill everything else in because I think I got a little too ahead of myself there. And these ones are wrong for some reason. Where are these flipped? Oh, this is wrong. Okay. Hold on, hold on, hold on. So yeah, again, sometimes making it flat fold, like it is good for understanding, but you can also confuse yourself very easily. um, at this point, we need to get a grasp of the thought process. Yeah. So like this stuff is just kind of busy work. I don't think it's as important. Oh, and there you go, we fixed it. So, but if just for the sake of doing it, maybe we'll end the stream with making this flat folding. So I guess we're almost there. Basically, I can just take this and now copy it to the other side. And let me look at chat really quick in case I missed some important questions. That's good to ask. When's next stream? Probably next Friday, if not the Friday after that. At least as a so-called beginner. This is it. For me, it's advanced. Yeah. So no worries. It's totally okay to count yourself as a beginner. It's the best, most enjoyable part of origami is learning it, right? Designing was very easy to start. Oh, good. Yeah, and it's not easy for everyone. It's easier now with resources, and for some people it makes sense earlier. But don't worry if it seems hard. Check your Discord. Okay, did Bodo send me the? Oh, I'm over. Yeah, I'm overcomplicating things on purpose, Bodo. I'm showing what you can do versus like what you should do. Because why not? And then making it flat folding for no reason too. Oh, great. I didn't think about this part. Maybe we just do this. Get rid of this. So that we can do this. This is probably going to self-intersect, but basically all I have to do now is draw hinges. So basically when we fold this, right, it has to lie flat. So naturally there'll be things like this in the way. Same thing here. Okay, so the reason I normally don't do this, I think this part's kind of boring, but in theory, now we get a okay, it didn't fully complete. I think there's some other issue with this, but right, it works. There you go. What else is there? I don't know. Something's wrong with this, but I think there's some sort of. Oh wait. Okay, there's a self intersection, but whatever. You kind of get the point. Hopefully. You can squash along the diagonal too. Yeah. Do I have a Discord account? Yeah, there is the pinned link before for Discord. So if you're over the age of 13, which you have actually told me you're not, then you can join the Discord. But since you are not over the age of 13, just wait a few years before you join. Somehow I already knew how to fold and read crease patterns, even though I never watched. Oh, good job. You can consider yourself lucky because not everyone is like that. Sometimes it takes time, which is totally okay. But good job for understanding how to do that without the tutorials. Origami. Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't use that app. I like this one, but very nice. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense for everyone. I know that might have been a lot with drawing the actual crease pattern, but I think it makes more sense if you can consider what we did here and just things you can do. So Bodo, can I show what you sent me? Bodo did the logical route, and that's kind of all you need to do. So let me yeah, okay, cool. So right, I kind of went on some shenanigans for fun. But if you were to like actually just simply design this, you don't have to do anything crazy, and you can just do this. And it will have the same desired features that we had. Uh, boom. So, right, we have that flaps for the face, quite a lot actually. We have enough neck, and then our arms, which are actually just 5 units long. So 5, 5, 5, 5. So that's our 4 arms, and then our legs right here, and then our 2-unit river for our body, which is all we need. You don't really need the 4 units. I just have been doing 4 units for models that I like to design. But yeah, this would be better to fold. So if you want to try folding something just for the sake of folding a human with 4 arms and 2 legs, fold this one, not the one that I have on screen, because you'll have a lot better time. But if you want to fold the one I have on screen, just to like see how the flaps still lay out, it's gonna be really weird. But yeah, sometimes you need to understand stuff like this versus just seeing a symmetrical crease pattern to get a little bit more understanding. And a lot of the understanding will also be why this one's better, because the arms are on the edges, not in the middle, right? And you can go accordingly. I think sometimes I've seen people who mess around with Box Pleat Studio and they put flaps that they want shown in the middle because Box Pleat Studio says it fits. But they don't always realize that having things in the middle isn't great for, say, smaller flaps that you want shown, because the layers themselves of being in the middle will cover up some of that length. So there's a lot of other caveats that you have to think about instead of just pure structure. But it's good to also know that you can have that structure in theory for stick figures. Okay, well, that was kind of a lot. Hopefully you enjoyed some of that. For other design breakdowns, I might have to think a little bit of more how I want to present stuff like this if I do it again. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. It is late for me, so I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream. If you have any final questions, maybe we'll just chat a little bit. I'll answer. I think I have one more cool thing to show you all. as we wrap up. And so last week I showcased some of those custom boxes I had made that were very form fitting. Actually, Bodo, since you're here, I don't think you saw this. I don't think you were here last time. But Bernie Payton gave me advice. He told me that a lot of times if I have art sent to galleries, the curators and the galleries don't want pieces that are hard to take out and hard to put back, especially if there's risk of damage. So he told me if I even want to consider my art for that, which I should, because he thinks the origami is getting to the point where some people might like it, I should create a very safe traveling box as well as stand that form fits itself nicely and securely, so that it won't move. It can just be taken out with one pull, put back in with one pull, and very safe and secure like that. So I've been working on making those. I 3D printed the base for the head empty. The underneath is kind of ugly, but no one's gonna see that, right? But it's 3D printed and it's very, very secure. Later on, I might make those out of like wood or metal to actually make them look good instead of just janky 3D print with paper on it. But that's just kind of a start for trying. But I also have some fun ones. This is just what I'm going to use to go to origami convention. Nice and safe without packing peanuts, because the packing peanuts are really annoying to unbox. So anyone who's seen my convention vlogs, the past, I don't know, like 5 origami conventions, when I bring stuff, I just throw them in boxes randomly and throw a whole bunch of packaging peanuts on them. And then when I'm at the convention, it takes me a really long time to take everything out and then to put it back or to clean up afterwards. But now, right, I won't be able to take as many things, but like, look how easy that is, right? Super easy. Super convenient. And I don't even have to worry about the packaging peanuts like moving too much or not being enough or squishing something. They're just like super secure. Same, but without the packaging peanuts. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the other thing I've been working on. There's like 1 or 2 more boxes I want to do that I haven't done yet. So I also did one for the sword and shield. But that box is so big it won't fit on the screen at the moment. Is it just gluing a bunch of foam together? Kind of. So okay, maybe we'll show, but at least this one's easier to show. So this only works because the model is firmly secured to the base. So these models, the box head, I don't care as much. So I just I just hot glued it to the stand. The head empties. There's actually a wire connected to like an internal structure, like an internal flap that runs underneath. So it's like way more secured to the base. But because it's so secure to the base, you can glue foam on the box like this. And I just measured it, right? So it just perfectly slides in. With a little bit of a gap so you can actually grab it. And right, like, okay, the head's gonna wobble a little bit, but that's just because it's foil. But the actual model itself isn't gonna move when it's being shipped, or if it gets banged from the side, right? and then in the front to like make sure this doesn't slide outwards. It's just pushing against the base. So that's pretty much it. For so okay, this doesn't really fit on here, but for the um, sword and shield, it's a little bit bigger and a little bit more complicated because there's more parts of the model that wobble, just because it's bigger and it has like a sword. So inside here, there's sections to keep the shield in place, as well as like the sword arm in place, and then the back and the head. It's a lot heavier paper wise too, so there's just more supports. But basically the same thing. You can see the area it slides in, where it catches in the back, and then again on the lid, just where it then pushes back against the display stand to hold it in place. So yeah, this is like overkill for an origami convention, but I thought I would try to learn something, whether or not I think it's too much or not. The other benefit of this, right, is that when I travel with this, even though I bring less stuff, right, obviously this isn't gallery worthy, but for an origami convention, I've got a big pedestal to put the origami on top of. So even though the table is kind of low, everyone's going to see it at, a higher level, almost at face level. Not quite face level, but a lot higher up. That's going to put all my origami above everyone else's folds and just have it stand out more. Which honestly, for the sword and shield guy, the viewing angle is really important because of how I did the face. And this will give it a proper viewing angle compared to it just being laid flat on the table. So Bodo says, that does not look fun to transport. Yeah, well, Bodo, you saw me. I had, 3 or 4 bags where, like, 2 of them were dedicated just for origami. One of them was for my camera. And then the third backpack was, like, just other stuff and clothes. So the nice thing is I'm taking Brian Chan's advice of bringing less, but doing more. So just those like boxes, they fit in that big suitcase I have. So I just have that one big suitcase with the origami. Smaller suitcase, I can have just like my camera, a smaller box that isn't crazy like that, just with some other stuff. But they all I made sure they all fit in my suitcase. So I can travel with them. But yeah, it's less but more, I guess, is what I'm trying. Viewing angles, yeah. And I think this time, yeah, viewing angle. So even though I'm bringing less, it's like just make them really stand out. Like Brian only had like 7 models, but he really showed off his Spider-Man. But I think even with the Spider-Man, if it was higher up instead of just backed against the box that he used, it would be even more impressive. And the Spider-Man kept falling over. So like here, I mean, I'm eliminating the chance that my models fall over. I'm raising them up. I'm giving them a very safe, overly safe way to travel at the expense of it being a little bit more annoying to travel with. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It'll be a new thing. I think when I went to Ebok, that in the vlog I had that like carrying handle box and everything just fit in there. That's really nice. That's really easy to travel with. So if it's like smaller stuff, yeah, I'll just throw it in there, throw it with packing peanuts, make it super compact and carryable. But for like display, I should probably get used to being okay with stuff like that too. I don't know. This is better than shoving it in a trash bag. Okay, that's true. Uh, you just shout out to Chris. I don't know if any of the convention vlogs showed it, but when Chris transported his origami to and from his house, he lives close to the origami convention. Is the context, but he just put it in a trash bag, like a black trash bag, and that was his carrying the device for all his models. So it's just there's something weird about all this time and effort in these origami and then pulling it out of a trash bag or putting it into a trash bag is really funny. Like I don't know. It's yeah. Yeah, exactly. Reminds me of Chris shoving it into a bag. Yep. That's so funny. Spot. There's a lot to be said for testing concepts and you'll be tweaking yeah, definitely. Those prototype cases I'll be tweaking. Like I'm just using hot glue. So it is semi-permanent for part of the models, but I've kind of done it where I can still remove it. And yeah, who cares if the internal, like maybe I ripped the layer of paper, but no one's gonna see it. It's okay. So that in the future, if I have to, like now I have some experience doing it on the low end, and then if I do it on the high end, like a more expensive wood piece that I have someone else probably make that's better at that, I'm more used to what to expect. But yeah. Friday says, sorry, I'm back now. Well, you made it just in time for the end of the stream. I think we're about to end now. And I've been recording the whole time. Okay, that's gonna be a pain to sort through, but we'll do it for the YouTube video. So another YouTube short I have planned. I'm gonna try to release it sometime next week, if not Sunday, if I have time. Probably won't have time for Sunday, but sometime next week there'll be a YouTube short. Next Friday, if I don't stream, it'll be because I'm working on another video, such as reviewing the models in my cabinet. But other than that, thank you everyone for joining the stream. I think doing streams like this where I have kind of a plan make it a lot easier to do these more often. So yeah, hopefully I can do these more often. Hopefully I keep it up. And thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget, if you are in the Origami Dan Discord, and if I do stream, I will be reviewing some of the folds in your original designs in Starboard and in Hall of Fame. So if there's anything that either you've done or you really, really like, use the channels appropriately and maybe I'll get to review them. But yeah, regular OBB content. I think we need more regular origami content on YouTube in general. So hopefully I can fill that as much as possible and keep the content quality, good. Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see y'all in the next video in the next time. Something like that. Yeah. Bye-bye.